Hey, welcome. Here we are. What's today's date? This is the 22nd of June. Happy Solstice. Happy Solstice. It's 2022. On the 22nd of June here in New Zealand, it is 9 a.m. on a Wednesday morning. It's chat with Matt time. Look at that. I've just got a little bit of sun sneaking in under the blind. Maybe I'll pull that down so we don't have that distracting everyone, including me, more to the point. Good morning, Mike. So here we are, a brisk solstice morning. Well, it was the solstice yesterday, about 5 o'clock in the afternoon for us here in New Zealand, but needless to say, it's the solstice time. The Earth has just started to tip back in the other direction. That's good news for us in the southern hemisphere because we're going to start getting a little bit more light. We're at the darkest day, was yesterday, or the shortest day, not necessarily the darkest day, but the shortest day of the sun above the horizon. Anyway, we're here, chat with Matt. I don't have any questions written in ahead of time, which is a bit of a shame because I invited people to ask a question or make a request so that I had something to talk about. Hey, Sister Michelle. No doubt I will find something to talk about, as we always manage to do. Not have we ever done a chat with Matt yet in however many years where I have been stumped for something to say. But I just need to dig a little deeper. I need to trust myself a little bit more when I'm not directly answering someone's request. Because requests make it easy for me. If someone has a need, then we have a opportunity, a platform, an impulse, an inspiration to share something with the intention of assisting. My mouth's watering. I'm drinking a hot lemon drink, so it's producing quite a bit of saliva. Don't want to gross anyone out, but I'm just noticing that. Hey, Sister Susie. So what do you guys want to know here in this solstice? Can we do a collective clearing perhaps to start? Sure, Jess. So let's take some breaths. People will be jumping on as we do this, so it'll be a little bit interesting, weird. But anyway, I'm not doing light language, just a little intentional, as Jess said, clearing. The point is, what are we going to clear? So just close your eyes, take a few breaths, feel yourself. Unless you're driving or doing anything fucking that you need to concentrate on, don't close your eyes if you're driving or ironing or doing internet banking or any other multitask that requires you to stay safe by staying alert. But needless to say, you can still gain the benefit of this little clearing as just asked for. So let's just allow ourselves to be held in a space energetically where our own higher self, our own divine aspects of self with a capital S, can have a little bit more access to our energetic fields to clear away anything and everything that is creating discordance, discomfort, dis-ease, disharmony, disempowerment within your fields. Letting go of all of the false beliefs, letting go of any extraneous energies that are not serviceful to you, not beneficial to you right now. Allow yourself to fill with light as you inhale. Allow that light to basically pulse through you, cleansing you from the inside out as you exhale. Allow yourself to be filled with that which is vibrant and alive, and allow that vibrance to shake you clear of anything that is not adding to your life right now. Allow yourself to know that you are now more clear. Allow yourself to trust that you now have more clarity in moving forward. Allow yourself to trust that anything discordant that you are currently feeling is the ramifications, the residues of what you are releasing, rather than anything that is, quote unquote, attacking you. Let go of all of the beliefs that you are under attack and choose to know that you're in a process of purification. Choose to stand strong in your internal, authentic, sovereign confidence. Confident to be you, confident to know that you as a being of light are inherently safe in this world. Inherently safe. You don't need to protect yourself. You are protected. You are protection itself. Be strong. Be confident. Allow your light to radiate out around you. Not to defend yourself from the darkness, but to rather advocate for the light. This is your best defense. Awesome. How are you guys going? I'll just make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, collective clearing, and Jill wrote in, hey sister Jill, just got in from a solstice gathering in a friend's garden in wonderful sunshine. Amazing. Awesome, Jill. I'm glad you have had some community collective enjoyment. What do we call that? Whatever. When we're in together in community. Collaboration will do for now, but it wasn't the word I was looking for. Anywho's, hey Brother Milton, how are you? What do you guys want to know? What do you guys want to talk about? We've done the little clearing that Jess asked for, just to help us choose to know that you don't need me to clear you, right? I can help, we can assist. Mantara can come through and hold a space that is, you know, lubricating for your clearing. But ultimately, quote unquote, clearing is a moment-to-moment thing that we all do by choosing to be aligned with the light, choosing to be aligned with our own internal personal power. That's how we stay clear. So rather than, you know, going through the world collecting garbage all day and then having to spend time like some sort of, you know, penance in clearing ourselves, some sort of duty, some sort of household chore, I don't like to see it that way. You know, I don't like having to, quote unquote, clear myself consciously all of the time, unless I really get the feeling that I'm carrying something heavy that's more heavy than normal that sort of tripped me up. Then I'll do, you know, a clearing similar to what I just did then. Basically, I'll just take some conscious breaths with the intent to let go of what is tripping me up. But ultimately, I just like to stay, quote unquote, clean in the process of being the light, so that I don't need to, you know, feel that I'm gathering debris. I'm not gathering. I'm choosing to be a beacon in the world, not a sponge. That's the main difference. That's what I'd encourage you all to do. Hey, Sister Jane. Hey, Sister Susie. What have you written in here? Susie wrote, running on 3 nights of little sleep, so trying to wake up. Coffee machine broken. Okay. I know that's a sign to get rid of my morning coffee, but so tired. Try using a mushroom drink instead. I've never drunk coffee, but I've found that, you know, a mushroom drink is, you know, one with lion's mane and this and that and all the rest of it in, functional mushrooms. It can be really quite stimulating and uplifting in a not so buzzy sort of coffee way, apparently, because as I said, I'm not a caffeine drinker. But yeah, I think it is time for most of us to let go of crutches that really aren't serving us. The one I use is called Flow State, which is made in Tauranga. Flow State, and it's the AMs. I also use the PMs because that's got turkey's tail in it, which is a bracket fungi. And turkey's tail is really, really good for a whole heap of things, including improving our digestion. And people have cured themselves of cancer and all the rest of it. Lots of awesome claims about turkey's tail. Interesting that the Flow State guys, which is a beautiful young couple from Tauranga, say very clearly on their sales page, we would love to tell you all about the beneficial properties of functional mushrooms, but we can't because of New Zealand law. So here's some links where you can go and go and do your own research on why these things are good. But I found their product to be pretty good, and Lucas has too. So there you go. And I don't earn anything from. There's no affiliate marketing going on here. Jill said, we did a stick burning with one stick representing stuff to be cleared and the second stick to be things welcomed in. That sounds like an awesome thing to do on the solstice. Welcome in to support and help us. My second stick was hollow and spurted white smoke out of the end, just like the smoke out of the Vatican when the Pope is elected. Magical. All right, I've never seen the smoke come out of the Vatican when the Pope is elected, but awesome. Thanks, Jess. I'm glad you enjoyed the little prayer blessing clearing. Yeah, Flow State is the name of that New Zealand company that does mushrooms here. And they get them all tested and stuff in New Zealand. So it's good. Even though I think some of their mushrooms compounds do come from overseas, but they test them here. Yeah. What else, friends? Come on, give me a topic. What do you guys want to know about? What do you guys want to know about? So yeah, talking about clearing while we're going here. So we have the capacity to do lots of clearing, but just because we can clear with our intent, you know, it doesn't mean we should. You know, just because you can doesn't mean you should. You remember that, I've seen on Facebook several attempts at this, various crocheted garments. I think one was like a pair of shorts, and I think I've seen a whole like a onesie done in crochet. And the caption is, just because you can doesn't mean you should, right? Just because you can crochet something doesn't mean you should. Which is quite humorous, but it elaborates or elucidates or illuminates, I'll get the right word soon enough, a concept that is very important for us, because as humans, we love to do things that we think we're good at, right? We just love to show off what we're good at. Our whole society sort of encourages us to do that. Like, we're encouraged to choose a career, something that we're good at in school. Like, if you're good at maths, then you go into accountancy or science or engineering or et cetera, right? What you're good at, you're encouraged to, you know, use as getting money, even if you don't really enjoy it. This is the crazy thing, because some of us are really good at math, but we don't actually find math very inspiring. We can do it, right? And we can do it quite well, but it's not a passion. Right, but society says you should make whatever you're good at, you know, your career. You should show off your talents, etc. Milton wrote, I did the prayer mantra Guru Ram Das this morning, prayer for miracles and clearing. Awesome. I don't know what the prayer from mantra Ram Das Ji is. I know one of the things that I always picked up from Ram Dass and I've carried everywhere is the term loving awareness. You know, I am loving awareness, because I like not the duality, but the double meaning, because I do love awareness and I am loving awareness, which is this awareness that is loving, right? Loving awareness, as opposed to critical awareness, as opposed to fearful awareness, right? Loving awareness. I am the awareness that all is well. It's a Kundalini mantra. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, that's my bit of Ram Dass Ji, what I can remember from, I haven't watched much of his stuff, but the little bits that I have, I always like that loving awareness phrase, mantra, affirmation. I am loving awareness. It's like I am choosing awareness, but I am loving awareness, you know. It's deeper. So, anywho, just because we can doesn't mean we should. So, a lot of us have skills in doing things. One of them might be clearing. For example, we might find that we're really good at clearing energies out of houses, really good at clearing energy out of spaces and places. But that doesn't mean that we should make it our mission to walk around the world clearing spaces, unless we really feel guided to. This is the point, right? Because there's this tendency, this societal influence that creates this thought that if we're good at something, then we should do it all of the time, right? Because that's what society has kind of told us to do. But I don't believe that really is the case with anything, really. Even if you're good at it, I don't think it's that you should be doing it. A lot of people think, well, if it's a talent, then God has given it to me for a reason, so I should use it all the time. Not necessarily, right? I think some of the times we need to create discernment around when to use these talents. And just because we're good at something doesn't mean we should show it off all the time. And certainly when it comes to clearing, I think a lot of people get in the habit of clearing everything far too much. And it's kind of a little bit OCDC, you know, where then everything needs to be clean all of the time, and they get upset when they perceive that an energy isn't, quote unquote, clear. And so then they clear it. And this creates this, this running on the treadmill type event where they spend a lot of their time, a lot of their energy, a lot of their life force clearing stuff. And does the stuff really need to be cleared? For whose benefit are they clearing it? This is the point. And is it actually even benefiting ultimately for the stuff to be cleared? Because a lot of the stuff that's hanging around is hanging around to give other people and ourselves opportunities, right? We're not supposed to live in a sterile environment. We've seen this in the external world with how, the overuse of antibiotics, the overuse of antimicrobial and antibacterial wipes and sanitization is creating a sicker and sicker and sicker society as our immune system is getting less exposure to the bacteria and the virome, basically, the viruses, the bacteria, the funguses, all of the stuff that we would normally, if we were living in nature, be exposed to consistently. Now we're living in our homes where we're spraying this shit around all the time, trying to kill all of the bacteria. We're living in these sterile environments that is creating a weakness in us, right? People are getting weaker and weaker to deal with normal interactions with the microbiology that we exist within. We exist within a bubble of microbiology. This is it. There's more microbiology in your body than there are actual cells of humanness in your perceived meat suit, right? There's more cells that are not of your DNA than that there are. So the point is to stop cleaning stuff so much and to start trusting that you have an immune system. You have an immune system that works biologically in the physical, and you have an immune system that works energetically in your environment. There are always going to be dark energies around. There are always going to be discordant energies around. There are always going to be fragments of pain and trauma and bits of belief and stuff all around. Always. There's always going to be that. It doesn't matter how much you invest in clearing spaces to try and get rid of all of this stuff, it's always going to creep in. And you're just going to make a rod for your own back if you think you need to keep your space 100% clean. It's the same like if you don't want any dust in your house, you're going to be dusting every freaking day. Who wants to live your life dusting every day? It's ridiculous, right? We can cope with a certain amount of dust. Should we live in filthy cesspits? No, of course not. We don't. That's not good for our health either, right? We have to find some middle ground here, friends. We have to find some middle ground. So just because you're good at clearing stuff doesn't mean that you should make burdensome rituals out of clearing stuff all the time. Because I know some people who go around and the first thing they do whenever they go anywhere is clear it. Oh, let's clear. It's like it's like the activist mindset. It's like people who, environmental activists. I'm an environmentalist, by the way, but I'm not an environmental activist. I'm an advocate for good, clean, biologically diverse environments. But I don't go around looking for bad people to protest against, because if I do that, I'll keep finding bad people to protest against. And it's the same if you make your purpose to clear dense energies, you're always going to be face to face with dense energies. If you make your purpose to send entities back to the light, you're always going to be face to face with entities. They're always going to be in your face, because guess what? A lot of entities want to go back to the light. They're going to use you as a portal. And while you might think that's serviceful, it is also really, really boring and draining. So, if you make it your purpose to fight against darkness, you will always have darkness coming to you looking for a fight, because guess what? Darkness always wins a fight. Not that, you'll think you won, but they will have got energy out of fighting you. That's the point, even if quote unquote you win. So light doesn't fight. Light just bees. We just be the light. We don't need to fight darkness. So don't make your purpose to fight off the dark beings. Don't make your purpose to clear away dark beings. Don't make your purpose to clear away dense energies. Yeah, if you need to, do a clearing. If you feel in your heart that it's appropriate, do a clearing. I'm not saying never do a clearing. I'm not saying never fight the darkness. If it's in your face and they're being aggressive, we have to be willing to back ourselves up. And all we really need to do is reveal ourselves as the light, and we've won. Kind of like a good martial artist. A good martial artist very, very, very rarely needs to fight. But they have the confidence in knowing that they can. So with that confidence, knowing that they can fight and they can defend themselves, they can talk down most aggression and be very confident in themselves, because they know they have the capacity to fight if they need to. That is what we are requiring. And so we don't have to fight to prove ourselves. We choose to be confident knowing that we are the light. And in doing so, we can stand up to and advocate for the light, standing up against any sort of dark, aggressive or controlling, abusive energies, because we know we have the capacity, right? I've missed a lot of comments. Jill said, I don't usually do what I did this evening, but one lady said a back injury had left her with a trembling left hand and she'd had it for 20 years. I was guided to do some emergency Bowen and was rewarded when she then picked up a crisp with her left hand and ate it and then realized it wasn't shaking. Wow, I think the collective energies were at work there. Of course. Awesome. Well done, Jill. Susie said, I spent half my life today wondering what I was good at or should do, but got to a place that everything I have done is a good experience, and I don't need to have, quote unquote, something I should be doing. Exactly. We're here to experience life. That's what we're here to do. We're not here to be excellent at something. Jill said, I needed today as the stresses caused another panic attack yesterday and had to call paramedics as I was in agony on the floor. They were fantastic and very calming and quickly brought me back to planet Earth and suggested maybe needing gallbladder checked out. For me, gallbladder organ of decisions, so it was very apt to my house situation. Wow, Jill, that's pretty full on. But understandable, right? Very understandable in the lead up to, sort of coming off the back of the full moon and in the lead up to the solstice, we're clearing a lot of stuff and it's happening naturally. We don't need to try. And so these quote unquote panic attacks are basically intense clearing experiences and energetic upgrades and purifications. So just be confident in the experience, and that doesn't mean that I'm not saying that you should not seek medical attention if you feel that that's required, but at the same time, don't overly buy into the narrative, and so I think you've done well there. Well done. Yeah. So how are we going? Yeah, so just because you can doesn't mean you should. I think that's a really good theme to contemplate, because a lot of us have been dragged into doing things that we feel we're good at for various reasons that doesn't include joy and passion. Right? It could be that we get a degree of satisfaction when we're told we've done a good job of that. Oh, aren't you really good at doing that? Great. But that mental satisfaction doesn't last very long, and it certainly isn't sustaining in the long run. Many of us do things that we're good at because it builds relationships with other people, but those relationships can tend to then become quite disempowering when you keep doing the thing that you're good at and the other person doesn't need to do it at all because you're good at it and they're not so good at it. So that sort of, creates a situation where they don't get an opportunity to improve themselves and you just keep doing something that creates a codependence, right? And potentially is draining, because just because you're good at it doesn't mean that you are sustained in it, A lot of us have become good at things because we practice them a lot because we felt it was a useful skill. And a useful skill for us as empaths is fitting in, conflict resolution, compromising, usually ourselves, to keep the peace, right? So just because you're good at that stuff doesn't mean you should keep doing it. And, a lot of us are looking for, of course, we're looking for the appreciation and the acceptance that comes with doing things for others. But that too isn't sustainable. Ultimately, we wish to attract people into our lives who appreciate us for being ourselves. And we don't need to keep doing things just because we're good at them. We do things because we feel motivated to do them from passion, from joy, from a deep inner heart knowing, from a soul desire to do things, rather than doing what we get an intellectual hit off, a little hit of dopamine. Oh, I did a good job there. Little satisfaction burst, which is nice, right? I'm not saying that satisfaction is not a pleasant thing to achieve, but it's not enough. And if you keep just trying to do your life by doing the things that you're good at because you feel satisfaction for doing it, you are going to wear yourself out. Ultimately, we wish to be that loving awareness that we catch these habits. Oh, I'm doing this just because I'm good at doing this. I'm doing this because habitually I've done this. And inquire, is this serviceful for me to do? Is this beneficial for me to do? Does this benefit me? Does it benefit the other people around me? I might think that it benefits them because I'm doing them something that then they don't have to do. But is that ultimately benefiting them, right? Is it ultimately benefiting us to create these codependencies where we just keep doing things because we're good at them, and you know, somehow serving others so that they don't have to do them because they have to try a bit harder to do it. You know, and then we have to deal with our guilt, and you know, around choosing not to do something that we could do easily, and watching someone else go through the process of struggling to do it. But you know, we can also help them do it without doing it for them. You know, we can use our expertise to educate them, to inspire them, to encourage them, to support them, for them to get better at doing it too, right? That would be a far better use of our gift rather than us just doing it all the time because we're good at it, quote unquote. Anywho, so I don't know where all of that came from. I'll have to try and find a picture of those crocheted shorts. I'm sure it won't be hard to Google. I'll show you. If you haven't seen crocheted shorts, you'll understand. It's pretty obvious why just because you should doesn't mean, just because you can doesn't mean you should. When you see a lovely pair of crocheted shorts from the 70s. I still remember, I bet it's still there in my parents' house. Mum can confirm this when I talk to her. She used to have a crocheted owl hanging downstairs in the recreation room behind the bar in the 70s, right? You know, with a couple of sticks and some beads for eyes and a little beak and feet. Crocheted owl. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. There's nothing wrong with a crocheted owl, but it's a funny craft, the old crochet. I'm not, some of you might be right into it. I'm sure it's very therapeutic, and if you enjoy doing it, then why not? You know, any therapy is good. We don't need to create utilitarian objects. We don't even need to create great works of art. If we enjoy making knots in bits of string, which is basically what crochet is, then good, great, go for it. Why not? It's therapeutic. It's hand-eye. It's lots of things that are stress reducing. Hey, Sister Lelina. I'm talking about crochet and crocheted shorts. And just because you can doesn't mean you should. All right. Steiner kids all have to learn it in year 1. Perfect. It's good to know that the art of crochet will not die as long as Steiner schooling is still going. M. Rose is making a crocheted hanging chair. Perfect. See, it is useful. We can make utilitarian objects from this craft that is also therapeutic. Yeah, and knitting. Well, I can understand knitting because, you know, you can knit jumpers and beanies and scarves and things that keep us warm. Knitting has been around for quite some time in creating clothing for ourselves. Jill said it was the excessive micromanaging tendencies that led to the panic and nausea and chest pain. So today, a friend and I. So yeah, so that pain, that panic attack is actually helping you. It's feedback telling you to stop micromanaging. So the experience was not a wrong one, right? This is your this is your energy working for you. So today, a friend and I visited a local free-range egg farm nearby. I parked under a tree and found the tree was full of noisy birds, finches and coal tits, etc. I had a chat with them. The eggs are sold out of a shed with an honesty box to pay. Wonderfully low tech. The ducks and geese were snoozing under another tree. So tranquil and really helped my trust issues. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. So I love that people are still trusting enough to have honesty boxes, whether with eggs or, yeah, we've got one just up the road that they sell their eggs, and it's basically in an old fridge, which is basically just to keep the animals out until the fridge isn't running. And there's just an honesty box in there, and you put your $6 in and you grab your dozen eggs in your own carton. It's perfect. So, and you know, lots of people in the country sell fruit and veg on the side of the road the same way. It's good, right? It's good. And I think we will move back more and more to that. Susie wrote, it's good for the brain. We're back to crochet. It's good for the brain, apparently, hand-eye coordination. Yeah, it is. And it doesn't involve a screen, which is refreshing. Because there's lots of things that are good for the brain in doing hand-eye stuff, you know, on various devices. But, you know, the old knitting, crochet, various other crafty things, needlework of all different descriptions, is very good and very therapeutic and very, what's the word I'm looking for? Meditative. It's very meditative to do that stuff, right? You get lost in it. And you have to stay present, right? Because you can't just drift off or you'll get the movements wrong. And you got to drop off all your old egg crates, egg boxes. Well done, Jill. What else, friends? Anything else? I have no idea what the time is. Let's have a look. 9:33. We're pretty much done my half hour. So that was Chat with Matt for this solstice. Tipping point, right? Solstice is a tipping point. We've come all the way to an extreme swing of the pendulum in terms of the Earth's tilt, and now we're moving back in the other direction. So there's this stillness that occurs and this change of direction. So allow that to be a part of your life. Allow yourself to find a little bit of stillness, and allow yourself to change direction a little bit. Allow yourself to contemplate. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. Allow yourself to be that loving awareness that inquires into what would serve you right now. What truly would serve you? What are you passionate about? What does your heart desire to express? Let go of trying to do something well. Right, let go of trying to be excellent. Just allow yourself to be authentically present. Right, allow yourself to be authentically passionate and optimistic about what this world can deliver us. What opportunities are here for us to really express ourselves expansively. Awesome. I'm glad you enjoy crochet but not knitting, Jill. Just to show that there is definitely a difference between the two crafts. I wouldn't have a clue because I don't know the first thing about crochet or knitting. That is the truth. Much love, my friends. I will speak to you again next week. If you have any questions, comments or concerns, if you feel that we could help you in some way, please don't be shy. You can reach out, either put a comment on below here. I do read them all and I see the later ones that come in. And I will answer if you have a specific question. Or you can send me an email, mantara@mantara.nz, and we can converse that way and we can work out how we can best support you or inspire you or help you, right, quote unquote, healing work to move through whatever situation is currently creating issue in your life. Rug making and quilting, good too. Yeah, all sorts of good things that we can spend our time doing rather than sitting around panicking about the state of the world. You know, it's time for us to advocate from a space of authentic confidence in ourselves and in God, source, universe, that it's all okay, no matter how bullshit, chaotic, crazy the current situations are, and all sorts of stories flying around about this and that could be, might be, you know, shouldn't be. Relax. Relax into your heart and trust. Trust doesn't mean, you know, do nothing and expect to be saved. It's basically get out of anxiety, get out of stress, get out of contraction, and allow yourself to connect with that aspect of yourself that knows what to do. But don't be desperate to get instruction about what you should do, because much of what we quote unquote should do right now is to be our bright selves. And we can do that in so many ways. Walking on the beach, helping an old lady across the road with her shopping, whatever it might be, right? We can do all sorts of things to be our bright selves. And it doesn't necessarily mean fighting the darkness and exposing all of the lies and the manipulation, etc. That will happen naturally as we choose to be brighter and brighter. And we don't need to be wearing crocheted shorts while we do it. I missed the comment before that. She said, thanks man, nice to catch up. Hope you and your boys are good. Yeah, we're good. And we're not wearing crocheted shorts. Much love, my friends. Bye for now. Namaste.